The book of Job, chapter 29, verse 1. Job 29 and 1. Job 29, chapter 29, and the first verse. Job continues his speech. Oh, Lord. Job continued to speak. I wish my life could be the same as it was a few months ago when God watched over me and cared for me. God's light shined above me so I could walk through the darkness. I wish for the days when I was successful, when I enjoyed God's friendship and blessing in my home. God all powerful was still with me then, and my children were all around me. Life was so good that I washed my feet in cream, huh? And had plenty of the finest oils. You washed your feet in cream. Mm. Interesting. Those were the days when I went to the city gate and sat in the public meeting of the elders. When the young men saw me coming, they stepped out of my way. Mm-mm. And the old men stood up to show they respected me. Sounds like some pride to me. The leaders of the people stopped talking and put their hands over their mouths. Even the most important leaders were quiet as if their tongues were stuck to the roof of their mouths. All who heard me said good things about me. Those who saw what I did praised me because I helped the poor when they cried out. I helped the orphans who had no one to care for them. People who were dying asked God to bless me. My help brought joy to widows in need. Right living was my clothing. Fairness was my robe and turban. I was like eyes for the blind, like feet for the crippled. I was like a father to the poor. I helped people I didn't even know win their case in court. I stopped evil people from abusing their power and saved innocent people from them. I always thought I would live a long life growing old with my family around me. I was like a healthy plant with roots that have plenty of water and branches that are wet with dew. I thought each new day would bring more honor to be full of new responsibilities. In the past, people listened to me. They waited quietly for my advice. When I finished speaking, they had nothing more to say. My words fell gently on their ears. They waited for my words as they would for rain. They drank in like rain in the springtime. I smiled at them and they could hardly believe it. My smile made them feel better. I was their leader and made decisions about their future. I was like a king among his troops, comforting those who were sad. Uh-oh, we're seeing what the problem is here now. Job 30, you still going on? But now men younger than I make fun of me, men whose fathers were too worthless to put with my sheepdogs. Wow. Their fathers are still too weak to be of any use to me. All their strength is gone. They're starving with nothing to eat, so they chew on the dry, ruined land. They pull up salt plants in the desert and eat the roots from the broom tree. They're forced away from other people who shout at them as if they were thieves. They must live in dry riverbeds, hillside caves, and holes in the ground. Job, if you're in so much pain, how do you have the energy to talk all of this stuff? They howl in the bushes and huddle together under thorn bushes. They're a bunch of worthless people without names who are forced to leave their country. Now their sons sing songs to make fun of me. My name has become a bad word to them. They hate me and stay far away from me, except when they come to spit in my face. God has taken the string from my bow and made me weak, so they feel free to do whatever they want to me. They attack me on my right side. They knock my feet out from under me. They build ramps to attack and destroy me like a city. They guard the road so that I cannot escape. They succeed in destroying me without help from anyone. They break a hole in the wall and come rushing through it, and crashing rocks fall on me. I'm shaken with fear. They chase my honor away like dust in the wind. My safety disappears like a cloud. Now my life is almost gone, and soon I will die. Days of suffering have grabbed me. All my bones ache at night. Pain never stops chewing on me. God grabbed the collar of my coat and twisted my clothes out of shape. He threw me into the mud and I became like dust and ashes. God, I cry out to you for help, but you don't answer. I stand up and pray, but you don't pay attention to me. You've become cruel to me. You use your power to hurt me. You let the strong wind blow me away. You throw me around in the storm. I know where you will lead me to death, to that place where all the living must go. Surely no one would attack a man who's already ruined when he's hurt and crying for help. God, you know that I cried for those who were in trouble. You know that I mourned for the poor, but when I hoped for good, trouble came instead. When I looked for light, darkness came. I constantly feel upset and my suffering has only just begun. I'm always sad and depressed without any relief. I stand up in the public meeting and cry for help, making sounds like the wild dogs, like ostriches in the desert. My skin is burned and peeling away. My body is hot with fever. My heart is tuned to play songs of sorrow. My flute makes sad songs like someone crying. Job 31. You still talking? I made an agreement with my eyes not to look at a young woman in a way that would make me want her. What does God above have for us? How does God all powerful repay people from his home high in heaven? He sends trouble to the wicked and disaster to those who do wrong. God is the one who knows what I do and sees every step I take. I haven't lied to anyone. I've never tried to cheat people. If God would use accurate scales, he would know that I'm innocent. If I ever stepped off the right path, if my eyes led my heart to do evil, or if my hands are dirty with sin, then others eat what I planted. Let my crops be pulled up by the roots. If I've desired another woman or waited at my neighbor's door to sin with his wife, then let my wife serve someone else, Jesus, and let other men sleep with her. Now, you're going too far now. Now, that's just ridiculous. To do such, you just talking trash now. To do such a thing would be shameful, a sin that must be punished. Such sin is like a fire that burns until it destroys everything. It would completely ruin my life's work. If I refuse to be fair to my slaves, then they had a complaint against me. Then what will I do when I must face God? What will I say when he asks me to explain what I did? The one who made me in my mother's womb also made them. God shaped us all inside our mothers. I've never refused to help the poor. I always gave widows what they needed. I've never been selfish with my food. I shared what I had with orphans. All my life, I've been like a father to orphans, and I've taken care of widows. Whenever I found people suffering because they didn't have clothes or saw a poor man with no coat, I always gave them something to wear. I used the wool from my own sheep to make them warm, and they thanked me with all their heart. I never threatened an orphan, or even when I knew I had support in court. If I ever did that, may my arm be pulled from its socket and fall from my shoulder. But I didn't do any of these bad things. I fear God's punishment too much. His majesty scares me. I've never trusted in riches. I've never said, even to pure gold, you are my hope. I've been wealthy, but that didn't make me proud. I earned a lot of money, but that is not what made me happy. I've never worshiped the bright sun or the beautiful moon. I was never foolish enough to worship the sun and the moon. This is also a sin that must be punished. If I'd worshiped them, I would have been unfaithful to God all-powerful. I've never been happy when my enemies were destroyed. I never laughed at my enemies when bad things happened to them. I've never let my mouth sin by cursing my enemies, wishing for them to die. The people in my house know that. I've never let anyone go hungry. I always invited strangers into my home so that they would not have to sleep in the streets. I've not tried to hide my sins as some people do. I've never hidden my guilt. I was never so afraid of what people might say or making enemies that I kept my sins secret and avoided going out. I wish someone would listen to me. I will sign my name to all I've said. Now let God all-powerful answer me. Let him make a list of what he thinks I did wrong. I would wear it around my neck. I'd put it on my head like a crown. Then I could explain everything I've done. I could come to God with my head held high like a prince. Now, you're going too far. And I did not use my land in the wrong way. I never caused it to suffer. I always paid the workers for the food I got from the land. I never let any of them starve. If I ever did any of these things, let thorns and weeds grow in my field instead of wheat and barley. Job 32. Elihu adds to the argument. Then Job's three friends gave up trying to answer him. I guess so, because all of y'all sound foolish, because he was so sure that he was innocent. But there was a young man named Elihu, son of Barachel. He was a descendant of a man named Buz. Elihu was from the family of Ram. He became very angry because Job kept saying he was innocent, that he was right and God was wrong. Elihu was also angry with Job's three friends because they could not answer him, yet still considered him guilty of doing wrong. Elihu was the youngest one there, so he had waited until everyone finished talking. But when he saw that Job's three friends had nothing more to say, his anger forced him to speak. So here's what Elihu, son of Barachel, the Buzite, said. I'm only a young man and you're all older. That is why I was afraid to tell you what I think. I thought to myself, older people should speak first. They've lived many years, so they've learned many things. But it's a spirit in people, the breath of God all-powerful, that makes them understand. Old men are not the only wise people. They're not the only ones who understand what's right. So please listen to me, and I'll tell you what I think. I waited patiently while you men talk. I listened to the answers you gave as you searched for right words. I listened carefully to what you said. Not one of you proved Job wrong. Not one of you answered his arguments. You men cannot say that you found wisdom. The answer to Job's arguments must come from God, not people. Job was arguing with you, not me, so I'll not use your arguments to answer him. Job, these men lost the argument. They don't have anything more to say. They don't have any more answers. I waited for them to answer, but now they're quiet. They stand there with nothing more to say. So now I will give you my answer. Yes, I'll tell you what I think. I have so much to say that I cannot hold it in. I feel like a jar of wine that has never been opened. I am like a new wineskin ready to burst. I must speak so that I will feel better. I must answer your arguments. I will treat you the same as you would treat anyone else. I will not praise you to win your favor. I cannot treat one person better than another. If I did, God, my maker, would punish me. This is the word of the Lord. Let's get ready tomorrow to hear what this young man has to say about Job. Put in the comment section, this is the word of the Lord. Follow, like, share, and subscribe, and encourage others to join in with us as